I can sit down right here. Hey y'all, it's Cindy Cobb with Around the Town of the South, and I'm out here in Chilton County, Alabama on Lake Mitchell with one of I guess I feel like I've raised you even though I haven't. His name is Dustin Connell. He is a professional angler. I'm going to have a seat, but I wanted to make sure everything was going right, so give me just a minute, because I want to be able to get into the camera too. Okay, good. We're actually sitting in his boat that is absolutely beautiful. And Dustin, thank you so much for doing this vlog with me.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. It's kind of cloudy today, and I'm sure the fish are biting, but I'm glad to get out here.
Well, that's the main thing. As long as the fish are biting, you're good.
Absolutely.
When I started Around the Town of the South, I had a list of people who I wanted to vlog with. People who make a difference in the world, people who have a story, and people who are living their dream. I lived in Chilton County for 17 years, and that's how I know Dustin. I know his parents, I know his mother very well. She was a good friend of mine, and I've kind of watched you from 94 to now grow and live your dream. And I have these questions because I don't know the answers. And by the way, yes, this is one of his trophies that he won in Ridgeland, Mississippi, in our stomping grounds now on the Ross Barnett reservoir. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But at what age did you get out here on this lake and you realized that this is something that you knew you wanted to do?
I remember coming out here when I was like 12 years old with my brother, and we had a little 14-foot, really John boat. I mean, it had like a 20 horsepower motor on it or whatever, and we backed it in here, and I was like, man, this place is huge, because I'm used to fishing in lakes and ponds and streams or whatever around my house. And then I was 12, and we started fishing, and I mean, I got introduced to fishing tournaments really, really early. I fished here on the river probably 3 times, and then we were fishing tournaments because my brother had already been here. And then our first tournament we fished, I think we got 2nd place. Oh, wow. And I was 12 years old, like I said, and we won, I don't know, $200. Well, my brother handed me a $100 bill. $100 at 12 years old is a big deal.
$100
so
right now is a big deal.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, I can get paid fishing? And then I just fell in love with it from there on.
You did?
Not for the money, it's just I love doing it, and then just winning is just a reward, you know.
And so you did it all through your high school years?
I did. I continued on, you know, and whenever I really started getting serious into fishing was when I was 16. I got a truck, and I bought my brother's older boat that he had, and he bought a new boat. And then anytime I could, I would get out of school and I'd come down here and fish, or I mean, there's been several times where, don't tell my mom, but I might have came in late to school. I'd go fishing for a little bit and then I'd come back. But yeah, I really fell in love with it all throughout high school. And then once I graduated high school, I played baseball a lot, and I kind of had to decide what I want to do, go play baseball or go fish. Well, I was in love with fishing, so I went to the University of Alabama, and that's when it started getting real for me.
Well, I'll have to back up for a second, because he was around my house. I guess you must have been a sophomore in high school a little bit, and he would actually come out here fishing at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to hear boats because we're on the lake. We're on Lake Mitchell, and let me tell you, it's absolutely beautiful out here. We're just going to talk louder because we wanted this setting. I wanted to be in his boat. I wanted him to tell his story in his boat. So back to that. And then sometimes at 6 o'clock, when it was wintertime at 6 o'clock, he's going fishing. He's fishing 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, for someone to have that kind of passion and that kind of love at that age, with you have everything else going on, you have friends, you're growing, you have parties, you have girlfriends, you were so dedicated, and we watched you be dedicated, needless to say.
Yep. I had a girlfriend throughout high school, and then I had one throughout college, and you know, it was just one of them deals where priorities for me at that time was to get my career started, and that was my dream. You know, I was 12 years old, 15, 16. Ever since I can remember, I've always wanted to be a professional fisherman. That's all I cared about. I remember in college, there were several times it was hard for me to sign up for classes for the next year, because I knew this is what I wanted to do, but I knew I couldn't do that without having the means, an education, getting a job coming out. It cost a lot to come and do this. And so I graduated college. I fished there for 4 years, and I really I guess you would say, learned a lot about sponsorships. We traveled all across the United States. I went to Texas,
Wow.
Arkansas, down to Florida. We went up to the north, New York, stuff like that. So I learned all these lakes, and that helps me today. And it takes a lot of discipline. That's the biggest thing. I get a lot of questions all the time about, you know, guys, they want to go do this. Man, how'd you get to do it? How do you get to do it? Well, number one thing is being disciplined and learning that it is fun and it is a hobby, but you take it serious. You know, tournaments are on Saturday morning, so on Friday night you can't go out with the boys and hang out till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
There's been a lot of times I've had to say, hey guys, sorry, I'm fishing tomorrow. And I did that a lot, which I don't think I missed much, because I would come down here and they'd call me on Saturday after I won a few $100s. They'd be like, hey man, you want to go out now? And I'm like, sure.
Got a little money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Well, in saying that, his degree is in marketing, which I love that because it does fit hand in hand with what you do. You have sponsorships, you have people who believe in you. I see McKinnon on the back of every single wrap that you've had on your truck. McKinnon is a car dealership here in Clanton. I love the McKinnons. But as you're leaving your college days, and then you go into professional, what was your first big tournament that you won?
Well, we placed really good in college, and it was a big deal for me in 2014. Now, not many people know this. It hasn't always been really easy at all. You know, it wasn't that I came out of college and just blew up on the scene. When I got out of college, I started fishing local tournaments here around the house. Well, had a decent year, you know, done really good. And in 2014, this is a pretty good story.
I'm loving it.
2014, you know, the river got real flooded, and the tournaments about June, they kind of ended, and I'd only won maybe 1 or 2 tournaments. And that's how I was making my living locally. Well, times started getting a little tougher, started kind of needing to make some money to fund going fishing. You know, gas was high. It was $4 a gallon at that time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sounds like forever ago. It wasn't but 4 or 5 years ago. But anyway, I ended up I started applying for jobs. It was hard for me to find a job, you know, and I needed it to make it happen quick. And so anyway, a guy, Danny Stevens, I don't know if you know him, Cindy, but Danny gave me a job. I worked construction for, I think about a year out of state. I went to South Carolina. And, man, it was tough, you know. I didn't really want to go do that because I felt like I let myself down, you know, because I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn pro. I'm going to do this. Well, then I'm sitting it with a hard hat on for a whole year. And that's the only choice I had. And then finally I saved up enough money and I entered a Southern Open on the Alabama River. And that was in April of 2015. I ended up winning that tournament, and that was $50,000.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And that really was my jump start that got me where I'm at today. Without that, I wouldn't have had the funds, I wouldn't have the means to do it, and, you know, the recognition and stuff like that.
And also, it brings tears to your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're living a dream, and then all of a sudden, it switches gears on you. And then you have to, you realize, okay, I'm going to have to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I may not be fishing the rest of my life if something doesn't pan out here.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's just so inspirational.
Yeah, it was really a gut check. And I feel like that goes on no matter what profession that you do. You know, if you have an ultimate goal, it's not always you just jump up there. You're gonna get knocked down, and then you're gonna get stepped on, and then it's gonna hold you down.
You're gonna make me cry.
And then it'll hold you down to where you want to quit. But then after that, and then you'll have people that doubt you is another thing. I've had so many people around here. I never told anybody my dreams or anything. I just said, I'm not listening to all that. Because the number one thing they do is they say, oh, you're not going to do that. How are you ever going to make it to that level? How are you going to do it? And then when you make it, they say, how did you do it?
That's right.
See what I'm saying? So I always kept that in my mind, and I never listened to the naysayers. You're going to have that in everything you do.
I love that. I mean, that is so true, everything you just said. And I remember I was living on the reservoir, and it was 2016. No, it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2017. And I just scrolled Facebook, and I saw Teresa. She's over here in Ridgeland, Mississippi, and she's over, I want to say, she had checked in somewhere, and I immediately texted her. I said, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "Dustin's in the Bassmasters, and we're over here watching him," which leads me back to the support system that you had from the time you could walk. And I love that when you talk about your brother. Yeah. Your brother was your inspiration to do something that you love. He got you started, and he's kept you going. Every time I've seen any pictures, I say, "What's your sister-in-law's name?" Courtney. Courtney is posting constantly. I think they're your biggest fans, and your niece. Am I gonna make you cry now?
Yeah, they support me. They do. That's a big deal, especially since I'm not home all the time. I'm always on the road. But yeah, they're real supportive.
And so I said, "Are you kidding me?" She said, "Yeah, they're about to do the weigh-in, and he's got a good chance to win." Well, I started looking on Facebook at everything, and Pelican Cove Grill is the place where they had the breakfast. They're so supportive of anything on the river and a lot of events. Anyway, I said, "I'm on my way over there. I've got to see this." So I got dressed. I was in walking distance. I walked around there, and I watched you win your first Bassmasters in 2017, and that was at the Ross Barnett Reservoir in Ridgeland, Mississippi.
Yep.
I watched you. I watched the tears, and there's a lot of people that love you in Mississippi, especially the young men and women who are growing up fishing. They're in high school fishing. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I mean, I can't imagine your mom is in tears, your brother, everybody's in tears watching it.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Well, that was one of those deals where, you know, ever since I was 12, like I said, I'm always watching Bassmaster and videos, and then, you know, I see Kevin Van Dam and whatnot, and it's a big deal to me just to be fishing at that level. It's a whole nother deal when you win there. So I'm fishing, and coincidence, Kevin Van Dam was in second place, and I was leading the tournament, and I knew I had to go out that day and catch a good bag to win. Well, then finally, you know, I caught one last fish that day, and I knew I had a really good chance to win. And then I came in, I won the tournament, and you know, without a doubt, you know, the tournament, it paid $100,000, which that's all great and well. That's fine. And it really boosted me to be able to continue doing this. It's never been about the money to me. It never will be. I mean, it is my occupation, but it's what I love to do. If I can, I don't care as long as I got enough to load this boat up and go and go fishing and go back home and everything's cool at my house, that's fine. I mean, that's just the way it is, because I love it that much. And but that was a big week for me. Life-changing deal for me.
And it was rough that week. The last day or two, what in the water, like, and the reservoir's not I mean, you got to know what sloughs to go into. I mean, it's not an easy place to fish.
No, it's a really stumpy fishery. There's a lot of stump fields and stuff like that. The waves out there, the wind was blowing like 30 or 40 mile an hour, and it was really hard for me to get back and get up there. It's the most stressful week I've ever had.
Tell me about the fish. On the final fish, when you realized that this might put you in first.
Well, I flipped in this grass mat over there, and it had been a long, slow day. And then finally I flipped in there, and one bit it, and I set the hook, and he got hung up in the grass, and I could see it was a big fish. And I trolled over there real quick, and I reached down in there, and about 90% of the time, that fish is going to come off. Well, I reached down there and I grabbed it, and it didn't come off, and it was the fish that I needed that won the tournament for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, it finally happened. Thank you. Finally, because I've been close several times, and then I reached in there and I got that fish, and I knew that I had a really good chance to win. And that was probably the most important fish I've ever caught.
Well, I was very fortunate enough to walk over there and watch you win it, and it meant a lot to me too, because I knew you from Clanton, and here you're winning this tournament in Ridgeland, right where I live. So it meant a lot. It does a lot to us for y'all to come over there and do that. And like I said, we love our fishing. But you also won a big, and this means a lot to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I won Rookie of the Year also in 2017, and I finished 12th in Angler of the Year points against the best anglers really in the world. And I thought, I mean, it was a real humbling deal for me because, you know, there's a learning curve to everything you do. But when you get at that level, you don't have time to learn. You have to go and compete out there. And I always kept that in my mind that, yeah, I am a rookie, but I'm here to compete. You know, I belong. That's what
right.
that was my goal, was to belong.
That's right.
And then I ended up winning Rookie of the Year. That was one of my goals, and I got that done.
Well, we are so proud of you, and you are an inspiration. You know, when you have your age, whether you're doing fishing, whether you're doing football, whatever it is at that age, to know and to actually live your dream, it inspires others so that they know that, hey, Dustin Connell did that, so I can do that.
Absolutely.
So I love that. And in saying that, I want to know where you are right now, what you're doing right now with your fishing, and tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm starting to fish Major League Fishing next year, and they've come out with a new Bass Pro Tour, which
wow.
a lot of guys are going to it, and we actually start next week. I'm leaving next Friday to go to Kissimmee, Florida, and so we're going down there on the Kissimmee chain, and then we're leaving and going to Houston, Texas. Then we're going to North Carolina, and then we're going to Tennessee. So we're going to be traveling, you know, a lot this year. I've just been preparing for that. I just got my new Triton boat, and I just got it wrapped with favorite rods, and you know, a lot of my sponsors. That's another big deal to me.
It's a beautiful boat too.
Another big deal to me is working for my sponsors and trying to help them out. And but yeah, just really preparing. I'm out here. I'm probably gonna go in a little bit and sharpen up on some of my casting skills, probably catch some. So.
Oh, we've been watching you the last couple of days. You've been busy out here.
I have. I've been catching some.
And y'all can check his Facebook page out. It's Dustin Connell Fishing.
Yep.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you travel along in the next year, it'll probably take you to your next level. I love the next level. We're the next level. You have to level up to get to the next level.
Right.
He's out here this morning. He's not. I mean, you're not in season right now. But you've been out here all morning.
I've been here since about 6 this morning.
Yeah, I'm texting him going, okay, where are you? Where are you? Because
Yeah.
I thought we're gonna do this rain, and it's freezing out here. By the way, I'm so cold. It's freezing to me. But I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for not just people, your family, but the industry.
Right.
What you're bringing to it with your age. I know you're what, 20?
I'm 28.
28?
Yeah, I'm getting old.
You're old. Oh
I
my.
am getting old.
That just dates me, doesn't it? Lord
Yeah,
have mercy.
yeah.
Well, we can't watch you to continue on with your career.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be watching you. He's also on Instagram, and that's
DC Fishing.
DC Fishing. I'll put all of this in the description. There's a guy, his name is Wes Bailey. He was actually out there when Dustin won the tournament in Ridgeland, and Dustin is one of his favorite anglers, and he follows him. And as soon as I called his dad to tell him that I was coming over here, and oh, by the way, 2 days ago I called and I said, okay, we've got to get this done. He said, yeah, because I'm leaving next Friday. He said, when can you come? I said, I'll be there tomorrow. So his dad got this photo made, and I want to show the photo. He is so proud of this. He absolutely loves him. So he asked me if I would get this signed for him. And I love that we're going to do this here on the camera. He's going to sign this to Wes.
To Wes. Yeah, I actually remember taking this picture. So, Wes, if you're watching, good to see you, buddy.
Wes will be watching. He has no idea that we're doing this, though. This is going to be a big surprise. He had a friend named Andrew with him. And you took a picture with him too. He's going to sign that too for us. But I just want to thank y'all for watching our vlogs. I love that we get to travel and do what we do. It's the whole point of doing this is to showcase stories like Dustin's that can, motivate you and inspire you to live the life you're supposed to be living, no matter what it is. And I'm pretty sure, even though you were over there and took that year off, I'm pretty sure you still do some fishing over there in some of those lakes.
I do. I love fishing in Mississippi, especially, the reservoir, and then a few of the rivers, the whole Pearl River.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good fishing through there.
Yeah.
I love getting back over there.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing where you're going and what you're doing in your future. Needless to say, in a year I want to come back because I always love to showcase the difference that you've made in not only your life but your family's life.
Right.
So I want to give a shout out to his family. I absolutely love his mother, Teresa Connell, and I know that you're proud of him. We all are, and we could not do this without our sponsors. We've got a sponsor right here from Chilton County, Ward's Collision Center. It's an auto body repair shop. Every car I have ever had that I've wrecked, I have brought back to Chilton County over the 9 years. He's repaired my car 3 times. He is great. He knows what he's doing. He's right there on Christian Drive. If you wreck your car and you're in this area or wherever, you bring it, he'll have it done in a couple of days, and he's really, really good. Also, Pelican Cove Grill. They're the ones who served you breakfast.
They did. I remember that. Yep.
And that experience had to be awesome. I mean, right there on the water, they don't usually open till 11. And they opened up. And how many guys ate that breakfast?
A bunch. And I actually ate one of their biscuits, and it was great.
Their food is delicious. Pelican Cove Grill, as soon as I told Don that I was coming over here, he said, yes, we want to sponsor this. So Pelican is on the water. It's the only restaurant on the water that you can pull your boat up to. It's got music. It's an awesome place to bring your family. There's the food is excellent. It's always good. They're always giving back. Thank you so much to Don and the crew at Pelican Cove for sponsoring this vlog. And let me get up. I'm in this little short boat. Listen, they need to do this for ladies. Thank you for watching. We'll see you around the town.